Learn how you can save up to $500 during the Xfinity Black Friday sales event.
Here, reacting to videos. So yeah, without further ado, let's get started. All right, first video is Mario Bowser's. So yeah, let's get started. All right, here we go. I have seen Oversimplified's videos before. I don't think I've kept up with him in a minute, but I have seen his videos before, so I'm familiar with him. It's 4 p.m. for me. Let me cut this up a little bit.
The reviews are in. That's some nice merch. Get your brand new character pin, limited time face mask, and more. Link down below.
I
don't have much longer. Tell me, was I a good king?
I'm not going to. Hold on a sec.
Okay. Will I be remembered as the great warrior king who invaded France, revolutionized English healthcare, and developed great heart lines? Probably not, because of the white killings, because of the killings.
I hate time zones.
How did I get here? I still remember the good old days when I was a boy with a heart full of fire, and Mummy would teach me. Okay, Henry, this is a horse. Can you say horse? Oh.
Can barely hear.
Divorce.
Okay.
No. Okay, let's try this. Can you say loaf of bread? Loaf with her head. No, Henry, that's wrong. You know what? Last one. Okay. Can you say soap? Soap. Yes, that's it. I'm the supreme head of the church. Screw the Pope. You know what? You're my son and I love you, but you're freaking weird, man. The year is 1491. England has just come out of 3 decades of civil war, in which a bunch of Henrys, Edwards, and one Richard had a little ding-dong over which royal house should
Hold on a second. I'm not gonna.
Finally,
I'm not
Henry
gonna.
won. Henry VII.
That can barely.
Had a son. What should we name him? My royal lineage is full of Henrys. A fine, a vigorous name, a tenacious name, a muscular name.
Hopefully the Wi-Fi is as good as in here because there's a bunch of stuff going on
5 years later,
outside.
Prince Henry was
I barely
but
can
nothing
focus
came
either.
from him. He's not the heir.
I say, why is there noise in the
king wanted to
background?
make an alliance with Spain.
Because
So one
family, that's why.
He said to his son Arthur, "Hey, baby, you see that lady, baby? That's gonna be your wife. But father, I'm
And
not
hey,
even 3 years
Ray
old.
Hall. This should be better
There's
now.
something you
Yeah,
have to understand.
I know.
You're my son. But more than that, you're a political bargaining tool.
I had to move locations pretty
But
much.
you love me, right?
Yeah.
I love you as a political bargaining tool. Yay. Hey, Pop, who the heck are you? I've written you a poem. Listen here, tiny man. Can't you see that I'm busy? But I'm your son. I have another son? As Arthur was in another palace, being prepped to become king, Henry lived with his mother and 2 sisters at Eltham, where he was being trained for a church.
I was watching Funny
And not just that,
Clone
Henry
High
learned
before coming here.
languages.
Nice.
He played sports. He learned the recorder. What a nerd. Am I right? Wrong. Henry was the coolest kid around. So I told my Latin teacher he could kissius my buddius.
Ah, I get it.
Anyway,
Haha.
here's Wonderwall. Great scholars and theologians from across Europe came to meet and teach the young Prince Henry, who by all accounts was a very enlightened, bright, and charming young boy. Everybody loved Henry, and out of everything Henry was taught, more than anything,
But anyway, how are
he
you guys?
could
I'm doing
adore
pretty good.
and respect
I'm alright.
theology and Catholicism. One of Henry's tutors was English poet laureate John Skelton, who wrote a textbook for Henry that we still have today. In it, he wrote a number of important lessons for the young prince, such as, do not be mean, loathe gluttony, and do not violate widows. Important lessons for any 9-year-old boy.
Check out if
Around
Cardi
this time,
B
Henry's
did the
older
Sound
brother, Arthur,
Wars for
now
Star
15
Effects
years old,
episode
was married
2.
to Catherine
Okay.
of Aragon, sealing the union between England and Spain. And then he died. Oh, my alliance with Spain, my poor alliance with Spain. And your son, sire? Oh, yes, of course, my son. But mostly my alliance with Spain. Hey, Pop, who the heck are you? Oh, yeah! And just like that, an unprepared Prince Henry was now the new heir to the throne. And how about that alliance with Spain? Well, the solution was simple. Hey, boy, see that full-grown woman over there? That's gonna be your wife. What, my brother's widow? Yes. You're a freaking weirdo, man. Now, in the Bible, there's a verse that says marrying your brother's widow, that's a big no-no. So the king needed to convince the Pope and get his special permission. Hey, can I please have my son marry his brother's widow? And sure, why not?
Ah,
And so
okay.
it was.
Ah.
Henry's life was turned
Okay,
on its head as
that
he
was-
moved to the
that
royal
was
court,
easy.
next in line to the throne. But tragedy struck when just a few months later, his mother, with whom he was very close, suddenly died in childbirth. The loss of his mother almost certainly had a big effect on the young.
At T-Mobile, we believe you should get more. That's why we merged with Sprint.
Young boy. In his older years, King Henry VII went on a bit of a paranoid trip. As was normal for a king at the time, Henry VII had to quell a number of rebellions, and as
Hello,
he aged,
Isaiah.
he became
Hey,
ever
Carl.
more suspicious of the nobility around him. To keep them in check, he began levying huge, ruinous fines, left, right, and center. Dukes, bishops, barons, even his own mother.
It's
No
just
one
me or
was
is there
safe from
some
his tyranny,
increase
and the
in
nobility of
ads?
England began
I don't
to
know.
suffer. So
I
when
don't
Henry
know.
VII
I don't know.
finally
It
got
depends
sick
on how
and
many
died
ads
just
people
after
place on their
Christmas.
videos, but
If
I don't know.
there was
It
a
feels
lot
like the
of
normal amount for me,
celebration. Not only
but
because
I
the
could be
tyrannical
wrong.
Henry VII
But
was
you're
gone,
probably
but
right though,
because
Mario
his
Bowser.
replacement was the
It kind of low key
ever-popular,
does feel like
charming,
there's
and
more
handsome
ads, but
18-year-old
maybe-
King Henry VIII.
maybe that's
Henry
just.
married Catherine of
I
Aragon
don't know.
in
Maybe
June
it kind of
1509.
low key does
You
feel
may
like
be
there's
wondering,
more.
if it's so weird to marry your brother's widow,
Do you like
and
my
since
new
he's now
name?
king,
Yeah, it's
couldn't
cool.
Henry just decide not to?
Can you react to my
Well, yes,
VHS
he
tape
could,
video?
But by
Yeah.
now, Henry wanted to. The thing about Henry that was unlike many kings of the time was he married for love, and he'd grown quite fond of Catherine, very fond. Historians say their marriage was unusually good, and so he was coronated king. And what a king. Compared to his tyrannical father, he was an absolute joy. Having the blood of 2 royal houses, he was widely supported. He was really, really ridiculously good looking, and those famous calves could achieve world peace. Hey Henry, now that you're king, you know what that means. Costume party! Henry pranced around the palace playing dress up with his friends. He wrote plays. He sang songs. He danced. A true Renaissance man, very different from the gluttonous wife killer we think of today. In his early reign, people from near and far would come to ask favors of the generous king. Hey man, could I gain ownership of some land near Upton Snodsbury? Sure thing, pal. Hey, could I be an earl or a baron or a viscount or something? Anything you want, man. Could I get, just a really cool pig that has, freaking metal wings and 8 legs and shoots flippin' lasers and it can grow more pigs out of it for extra pigs? Say no more. Hey, guys, I was just checking up on the financial report and what the hell? We can't afford this. Henry's council that he inherited from his father weren't happy with all the money he was just throwing around, and they worked hard to curb the king's spending. Since they controlled the royal seals needed to get stuff done, at first they were largely able to control the young king. And for Henry, the most infuriating things of all was they wouldn't let him joust with his friends because it was too dangerous, nor would they let him do the thing he wanted most, to go on a great, glorious, and expensive conquest against England's historic enemy, France. Please guys, I'll keep it cheap. How? I'm glad you asked. I've got a promo code.
Oh, Honey,
Financial burden of war?
nice
Yes.
promo.
Honey is the free browser extension that automatically finds promo codes when you shop online.
Right.
Imagine
Let me,
you're on one of your
skip this
favorite
advert.
websites, man. $40. You know it's legit. .com. Now, France. Henry wanted war.
I don't.
He wanted to go down in history. If he didn't go to war in France, was he even the king of England? Man, I want to go to war so bad.
I don't know. I just
But
saw
the
that
king's
ad
elect.
and
Maybe
scrolling
I
through
can help
YouTube,
with
so I
that.
just decided to
Whoa, it's
place that as a
Cardinal Wolsey,
thumbnail.
one of my best friends. Despite being old ass man, Cardinal Wolsey knew that if he helped King Henry, there'd likely be something in it for him. So what was his great, intricate plan to curb the council's power? You're the king, dum-dum. You can do whatever you want. What? Wolsey began writing bills that simply didn't require the seals, and thus Henry was back on
okay.
top. For his
I did
efforts,
not.
Wolsey
I didn't
came
know you were alive. It's
and to
fine.
climb the ranks, and he became something
Oh yeah, I
less
saved the
than
Human
King
Life
Henry,
Challenge by Meat
encouraging
Can. Don't
him
react to it if
frolic
you've
and
seen it
play
already.
while Wolsey
Yeah, I have seen it though. It's the Mr. Beast one. Yeah, I know. I've seen that one. George.
Hey,
Meat
you
Canyon's
wanna go on an
really
adventure?
good. I love his
Do I
videos.
ever? The Pope was at war with France.
And I can't wait to see that
He
SpongeBob
offered
video
the
he's supposed to
young,
put out today, I
impressionable
think.
King Henry
So
100
that'd be
parmesan
cool.
cheeses, some wine, and a golden rose if he came to the Pope's aid. And Henry was all in. At this point in his life, he still respected the church and loved the Pope. And here was the chance for war he had been waiting for. He still didn't have an heir, a fairly big problem for a monarch at the time. But right now,
The
only
sponsor
kind of
transition was
smashing he was
smooth.
interested in was smashing French guys in the face.
Ah,
and
I
so
get it.
off he went. The English already held the French city of Calais. From there, Henry made a glorious
Meatkin
victory in the
is
Battle of the
talented.
Spurs.
I'll
He
have
took the
no
French
one to
cities of
tell me
Terre
otherwise.
Torna.
Yeah,
Word of
he's
his victory
cool.
spread. This was it. Here was the glory he had been waiting for.
I-
home, his
25
beautiful
cent
wife
one is
also
probably
led
my
armies to victory
favorite
in
ones.
Scotland. And better yet, she
I like how he
was
made a
great.
sequel.
Soon, Henry would have an heir. All of Henry's wildest dreams were coming true. Oh, he ran out of money. As the
Uh-oh.
French prepared to invade Italy, all Henry could do was go home. Well, at least now I have an heir to cheer me up. Bring me my son. Henry, this is Mary. Mary? That's a funny name for a boy. Henry,
It's a girl.
it's a girl. Catherine's fifth
Poggers.
pregnancy that had not resulted in a male
SSS
heir. Happy
today.
Henry
Henry
wasn't
the
so
Eighth.
happy anymore. You still haven't given me a male heir. Well, how do you know it's my problem? Maybe it's your problem, Henry. It couldn't be my problem because I've been boinking half your maidstaff and one of them gave me a sure. Yeah, you know what? Maybe it's my problem. I'll look into that. Cardinal Wolsey, now Henry's Lord Chancellor, knew his job depended on keeping Henry happy, and so he said, well, if you can't be the great warrior, then how about the great peacemaker? Not as cool, but okay. And so the Field of the Cloth of Gold, a glamorous peace summit between England and France, was held. The King of France, Francis I, was essentially the French version of King Henry, and the whole thing was basically one giant codpiece.
Some things that Meat Canyon posts make me wonder why they're not taken down from YouTube. I mean, we have the whole Wabbit situation, so there's that.
You see,
But not by
he was
YouTube,
the third major
but
player in European
yeah.
politics at the
At least I
time,
got to
an
see it before it got
exquisite
taken
specimen of
down. I think it's
royal
re-uploaded
and heir
anyway,
to a
but
huge
yeah.
inheritance. And
I mean, we
a
had that
jet
situation.
hit a home run.
So it's not like he's
Both
completely in
Charles
there.
V. He was Henry's
Alright. I may have to end it pretty soon. I'm sorry if I don't get to everyone today. I may pick this up probably like later today, but like I'll keep screenshots, but I might have to leave earlier because I have to go paintball and I thought we had to leave later. So I'm sorry.
And now, your future husband. Ew, he looks inbred. Mary! We're all inbred. With their new alliance, Charles and Henry agreed to team up and...
So if I have to suddenly stop stream, I'm sorry. Don't forget my video. I won't, but it's just... I won't.
Whoops, sorry man.
But I'm gonna have to leave pretty soon.
I'll join in next year. The next year, England swept northern France, almost taking Paris. But once again, where?
It's okay, Zay. You have your things
man,
to do.
I'm so sorry. I promise. Next year, I'll be there. The next year came, and a fed-up Henry decided he was going to sit this one out. And just as Charles ravaged the French at the Battle of Pavia and captured the French king. Holy crap, dude. Yeah, I totally kicked France's butt. That's great. So, can I have the French throne like we agreed? No. What? And also, I don't want to marry your ugly daughter anymore.
Rip.
Ugly? Have you seen your chin? Mummy says it's a strong chin for a strong boy. As Henry's alliance with Charles fell apart, Henry knew his days as a warrior were over. This was a problem for Henry, but it was a bigger problem for his wife. Catherine of Aragon had two jobs. The first was to give Henry a male heir, but the second was to maintain an alliance with her relatives in Spain, including her nephew. She had failed, and Henry's sexy eyes began to wander. Home from all his wars, Henry ate up his daily 5,000 calories of meat as an infatuation began to grow for one of his wife's ladies-in-waiting, Anne Boleyn. Beautiful, intelligent, cultured. She was exactly Henry's type. Now, Henry had had dozens of mistresses, including Anne's sister, but Anne didn't want to just be Henry's side chick. She wanted to be his queen. Henry sent dozens of letters, thirsty love poems. In one, he proclaimed that he would like to kiss her pretty duckies. Henry's loins were on fire, but Anne kept him at just the right distance to drive him crazy and push him to find a way to get rid of his current wife. Wolsey, I want a divorce. And as the representative of the Pope here in England, I expect you to sort it out quickly and quietly. I don't want this to turn into a Europe-wide scandal. You got it, Your Majesty. Hey, Big Papa! My boy Henry says he wants to divorce his wife. Any chance?
Great. Yep.
My finger is on the button.
Push the button.
Time has come to galvanize.
To Henry's shock and horror, Wolsey deferred the case back to the Pope in Rome. To make matters worse, after all the wars in Europe, the Pope was currently under the thumb of Charles V. Now everybody knew what was going on, and Henry's divorce trial had become a pawn of greater European politics. For Wolsey, the decision was a disaster. His job was to keep Henry happy, and Henry was very, very unhappy. Nevertheless, the divorce trial began. Henry's case rested upon the Bible verse in Leviticus that claimed marrying your brother's widow would lead to childlessness, and Henry was certainly having a hard time getting a male heir. He argued that the Pope had got it wrong when he allowed Henry to marry his brother's widow, and that now divorce was the only solution. However, the Pope and Charles V acquired some interesting letters from an unknown source. He wants to kiss her pretty duckies? Man, this guy's loins are on fire. The Pope now knew the case for divorce may not act.
Alright, everyone. I have to end this now. So, yeah. Sorry. I'll probably stream when I get back. So, yeah, I have to go. So, I'll see you all later. And, alright. Peace out, everybody.